Hello, my name is Ezra Garza, and this is Chapter 2 of When Alter Egos Come to Life, a Markiplier fan fiction.
8 a.m. I stared at my ceiling, a hidden rage being masked in my failure to actually sleep afterwards as my alarm clock rang absentmindedly. My mind was hyperactive and I couldn't do anything about it. It was truly a fail that would be spoken of for days and days. Need to get up now, or else I'll be late. I sighed and sat up, turned off my alarm clock, and began getting ready for the day. My life was simple enough. I was mostly alone because everyone was everywhere else. My brother drives himself to college and my mom works. My dad lives farther south, so I don't see him often, but I do contact him along with my stepbrothers, who are my brothers in my heart, and stepmom. But because of separation and time management, I'm mostly alone. In the morning, I would make some badass cereal, pouring the cereal in first, and then splooshing all the milk all over the cereal. Bossness achieved! Then, I'd hunker down and watch some Marky Moo. What? Of course I'm going to call him Marky Moo, everyone. Oh, just forget it. Afterwards, I packed up and headed out to my school. For now, I was attending a regular college, not so fast into getting into university since it kind of scared me, with the increase of students there would be. I also wasn't social, and that would make my insides swell a bit too big. But it was a good schooling program, and it was just in my league. Math. The glorious wonders of it all. But I won't care to explain it, because half of y'all would legitimately be bored and would skip ahead of this already to get to the juiciness. So, time skip to after work. Work was almost hell. Almost. It happened to be the day after Easter, and everyone decided to go and grab their holiday money like it was the apocalypse. Author's note. If you are one of these people, please be patient with your tellers, as we all know how badly you want to get out of there as well. I was so ready just to collapse, but something was nagging me. Oh yeah. I didn't get to watch a video during lunch because it was only 30 minutes. Author's note. Yes, they do that to you. Good luck. Oh well, one video shouldn't hurt. Author's note. Lies. I grabbed my phone, being sure to connect it to a charger this time, and began to scroll through some videos till I saw a suggested video. Are jump scares scary? By Markiplier. This could be interesting. I got comfortable and began to watch the video. At the beginning of the video, he states, "This is a jump scare," and then has an SCP creature pop up, startling me, but then making me laugh. Then he began to list different traits to it that likely make it so scary-like. Then he portrays it again, but I'm not quite as startled, and he says he still is concerned about it. Then he says he's going to show it one more time, but he doesn't. He talks about how he most likely prepared for it, which was true, and how that would change the effects, but still the question was if it was scary. But then something changed. It was familiar, but I couldn't track it in time. He began to say he didn't care about the answer. The music began to grow more spooky, and he began to speak much softer. And as he talked of his actions his viewers may have taken, I began to follow, almost in suit. He began to mention things around me that I truly didn't notice before, his face slowly morphing. Something behind me. His voice began to sound like a recording from another video, and I felt more alone and not alone. I saw his mannequins again. You see, the argument for what something is and why something is or is not scary, it's not important. Because in the end, you'll find there are much worse things waiting for you than simple jump scare. He was grinning at me now. Happy Halloween. His face stared there for a few moments, as if he was simply gazing into me, like no big deal really. Then, when it turned dark, I faded once more from consciousness. But not for too long. Dark's POV. I sat on my edge, leering into the sky, waiting for it to open once more, to let the light come into the world and enter the same human. I knew she would come again because once we have met, there's no such thing as... The sky had a tiny tear rip open, and a woman fell from it. I grinned and began to make haste to gain her body. When I saw her in my reach, her being was no longer glowing. I grinned. Excellent. Now there should be nothing to stop me from taking her. Just as I was about to approach her, I saw her open her eyes and sit up, gasping for air. What is this? I decided to watch her and ways away, finding the little event to be amusing.
Sarah's POV.
I took in the frigid cold air, like a fish who had been out of water. All around me it was dark, only the red haze in the sky bringing any light at all. I quickly got up. Where am I? Around me there was not the familiar room I was in previously, but simply a bland area, patches of grass surrounding me. There are very few trees, but the ones that were there were bare. There were plenty of hills though, and behind me there was a castle. A castle that was both huge and ominous. There wasn't a single place where you couldn't look without seeing mannequins. Crap. I took off, afraid of what would happen. How in the hell, out of all the places, why would I be here? At a Raspy Hill. It doesn't make any sense. Before I knew it, I ran into a tree. Fucking nuts. I held my head and heard a chuckle from behind me. I froze, then turned around, but nothing was there. Who's there? I called. There's no need to yell. It's only me. A rather calm voice replied, but still very ill-written, which was much to my disliking. I turned around once more. There was a man there, his eyes darkened and leering at me, a grin poised on his face. He was wearing a suit and tie, his broad shoulders portraying that he was strong, maybe a little short though. Still, his gaze was fixated on me and he began to walk around me. What a lovely face and body. His chuckles made me shiver. It'll be fun controlling you. Who are you? I asked once more. And once more, he chuckled. The name is Darkiplier, darling. But you can call me Dark. Dark? Why does that sound? Then I remembered. Oh shit. Just play dumb. That should help. what am I doing here? He smirked. I was actually wondering that myself. You see, this isn't the first time you've been here. I looked at him, confused. You're only here just the other day, really, but you didn't wink. Suddenly he grabbed my arm. Now, no more questions. It's time for my new life to begin. All of a sudden, a searing pain penetrated my arm, and I wanted to scream, but all I could see was darkness. And then... What the? Just as sudden as the darkness came, it went. Dark stood there in front of me. Scared? Why is he... You shouldn't be here, he whispered. What do you mean? All of a sudden, it turned dark, and I lost consciousness. Dark's POV. I looked around me, looking for whoever had just knocked her out. Who goes there? Why, it's only me, Dark. Oh, great. From the shadows appeared the horrendous man, pink mustache and all. Why, Dark, it looks as though you've seen a ghost. Wilford. I disappeared and reappeared in front of him. Is she your doing? He glanced at her. No, haven't ever met her in my life. Wait, is she the one that did this to you? He began to laugh outrageously. I growled and stepped away. So whose fault is she? He looked it over. I don't know, but she is beautiful. Like a nice pink rose. He began to mount her, but I felt I should warn him. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why not? She's not a normal human. When you try to control her, it's like death is laughing right in your face. He laughed. Well, at least I should try to have a taste of this death you speak of. I shook my head as he bent down, caressed her face slightly, and gently kissed her. He began to flow pink, seeming to consume her. But then his eyes burst open, the pinkness shivered, and he flew off her. He seemed flustered. What the? I told you. Don't worry back to her world. We'll wait for another one to fall down here. I nodded. It shouldn't take that long. Her way back is right over... I looked around. Where? I kept looking. Where did it go? Wait, you mean she's stuck here? Wilford asked, clearly enraged. Yes, it does seem that way. Then what are we supposed to do with her? How am I supposed to know? Wilford reviewed over the case. Well, he formed a pink cloud over himself and took off. I'll be going now. What? You're just gonna leave me with her? Well, you found her. Your problem. And with that, he flew away. Crap. I sighed. I looked back to her body limp. Fine. This has been Ezra Garza with Chapter 2.